was an interesting day yesterday.
Oh, it was.
Yes.
Just after we left the office.
Yes.
They were complaining yesterday that this Tinubu too slow.
It's like as if you listen to you.
Let's see some action, and then
like he was listening
in
to
one
you.
fell swoop.
Boom.
Just
Swung
it
the
wasn't all
hammer.
of it. That wasn't all of it. Last time there was another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the oh wow.
Zainab has it in the paper.
Let's go
Yes.
straight to the papers.
Okay, it's a newsy morning. We'll begin with Daily Trust this morning, unveiling new security chiefs. The riders here: Tinubu names Ribadu NSA, Egbetokun acting IGP, Hadiza Bala, Hanat Musawa SAs, Musa Chief of Defence Staff, Lagbaja Chief of Army Staff, Ogala Chief of Naval Staff, Abubakar Chief of Air Staff. Over 20 senior military officers to exit service. What new appointments mean for Nigeria's security? You get this story on page 4. Let's begin with the NSA.
Yeah.
We know there were controversies as to would he appoint another NSA since this was a security advisor, but we've seen that now he's the same person.
I think what Bola Tinubu did, President Bola Tinubu did, was simply answer the question that people have been asking. So, what is Nuhu Ribadu? Special advisor on security. So, will he report to the National Security Advisor? Are you going to counsel Office of National Security Advisor as we know it? Because the NSA is at the head of coordination for the security agencies and the security chiefs. Maybe it does not directly coordinate the service chiefs, but the others, the DGNI, the DGDSS, the Office of the Inspector General of Police, the NSA sits on top of the coordination of all of those agencies. It's like they report to him and he reports to the president. So the question was, we have a national security advisor, Babagana Mongodo, you haven't sacked him, and now you appoint Bala Nuhu Ribadu, as special advisor on security. What happens to the NSA? The NSA is constitutional.
Yeah.
It's in the constitution that the president will appoint a national security advisor. So is that the position? There was controversy. Yeah. And people, some of the controversy stemmed from, critics who are saying that for what it's worth, Ribadu doesn't fit the profile.
Yeah.
He hasn't arrived at that position yet where you can say this is, because if you check his career, he was assistant commissioner of police when he was made EFCC chairman. All the work he did. That was all the work he did until he was removed. Some people said he was promoted to AIG. Some said that even the police went to court to say that the IG at the time, 𝐒𝐭𝐚𝐲, did not recognize that promotion by the police service commission because they say that he wasn't ready to be AIG. So they are talking about a policeman who was even never commissioner of police to become national security. It was controversy. But Bola didn't put that to rest yesterday when they said, whether you like it or not, he's my national security advisor. So that security advisor SA, I think now that one will now be empty, and then there will be no need for that position because there was never a SA to the president previously.
Yes.
I don't know why he created that one. I do not know. Maybe again he was thinking of balancing it out on NSA. But it's clear now. Ribadu is NSA. There will be no need for special advisor on security, and Ribadu is at the top of coordination of the security agencies. He takes briefings from all security chiefs and they report to the president. It's a big job.
And this is what people are
I
saying.
really don't know if Mr. Ribadu has that thoroughbred experience because it's almost an unspoken rule, Zainab, that since 1999, the national security advisor have come from the military stock.
Yes.
From General 𝐒𝐿 to Dambazao, and Dambazao wasn't when I say from General 𝐒𝐿, yes, and to 𝐒𝐨𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜𝐭𝐞𝐝 advice. All the people that not 𝐒𝐨𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜, what's his name? The one that died in the plane crash. Andrew 𝐈𝐍𝐻𝐈𝐑𝐀𝐓𝐈𝐍𝐻 that advised the president as national security advisor. They were all from the military stock, from the intelligence services of the military. The last one, Babagana Mongodo, was commander of Gas Brigade, was the head of the military intelligence at the time, and then was NSA. So it has always come from that stock. So now take a policeman that some people are arguing was not really AIG. It was just that EFCC job that he did. I think it's a giant leap, and the president probably trusts him to be able to do the job, and that's why I give him. I think for Nigerians, it's just supportive. Ribadu also comes with track record.
Because people are asking that would these security chiefs who are very high ranking take orders from Nuhu Ribadu.
The NSA doesn't give orders. It just coordinates a fusion center of security and reports to the president. The NSA doesn't come and say, IG, come and go arrest that man. IG, I send you to Ibadan to go arrest Tokyo or auxiliary. That does the work of the IG. It's just a fusion center. The general, they coordinate like class captain, so to speak. It coordinates,
manages
manages the entire security information and informs the security agencies of what the president is saying. The national Susan Rice in the US, Condoleezza Rice, she was civilian in the United States. She was NSA, she was National Security Advisor, and I mean, nobody in the US would say that her tenure wasn't good. It was just because we already have that experience of it's always ex-military. It doesn't mean that it must be ex-military, So we'll see later it pans out. And for what it's worth, for national security's sake, I think the people that should report to him should report to him.
Let's talk about the security chiefs.
My Twitter handle was on fire yesterday. I had the more interactions that I had yesterday. It was just because I said, 𝐒𝐭𝐚𝐲, the GM Army staff. Of course, the guy I know. I've always known him. Known him from the 𝐒𝐭𝐻𝐧𝐧𝐞𝐜 cantonment when he was brigade commander for 9th Brigade. When he was a very young officer. I'm talking about captain. Before he was even captain major, that position. Before, So I followed his trajectory. 2 or 3 years ago, I met him in Abuja at the Armed Forces Resource Center, and I reminded him, he was among his peers. They will tell you that soldier get level, this one level high. And I'm not trying to blow his trumpet. I think Nigerians will see, that this is an army officer who is experienced, who is likable, and who is brave. He's been GOC 1 div, he's been GOC 82 div. He's done the army. He has been in several operations in the multinational joint task force, as well as the Operation 𝐒𝐍𝐻𝐈𝐑𝐀𝐓𝐈𝐍𝐄 the Boko Haram operations, and then until recently, he was, I think, Chief of Policy and Chiefs. It was the Army Policy and Chiefs at the Army headquarters. So I think it's a brilliant appointment. And I'm trying to analyze this yesterday. I was discussing with the top army officer on one West Screen chat. He said that if you look at the range where the president had thrown these officers from, he probably got the very best advice, because he probably went for the eggheads, the very brilliant officers who over time have shown tremendous capacity for hard work. So we now expect that we'll see how it pans out, in their job, in doing their job as managers of the national security, because it's work for them now. It's really work for them. It's the only chief of army staff I know. The chief of defense staff, CG Musa, Christopher G. Musa, I knew at one time was in Boko Haram War as well. It was was commander for the counterinsurgency, and that's all I know about him. For the Navy, Lafia Dole, when he was Lafia Dole before he became hadinkai. For the Navy chief, never heard of him, Ogala, because of course he was drawn from Bapu. The chief of air staff, I heard from Kano. Also another, Abubakar. So that's much I know about them. But being in the limelight is different from being in the background and people that personally now they have a lot of work to do. There's security crisis in the country, a lot of it. The plateau is in the news every day. I think the plateau has gone out of hand. It's not longer a police operation. It's what the military now has to enter and look at. I think it was the first priority for the service chiefs, to look at that. And then for the IG of police.
That better come.
Bola Tinubu played the long game with that one. In 1999-2001, 𝐿 Tinubu was Bola Tinubu's chief security officer. He was the CSO to Bola Tinubu. He became commander of the RRS around that same time before Bola Tinubu left office. They have kept in touch. He has come to Lagos. He was commissioner of police. He was also commissioner of police in Kwara. Bola Tinubu has made him IG, Inspector General. He has arrived at the nadir of his career and he's known the president for over 20 years. So a good appointment. Some people will say it's nepotistic. They've used the word yesterday. People have used the word that this all looks like. But it's a police appointment. Sometimes it's good to work with people and it's not as if he hasn't achieved the rank. He didn't bring him as assistant commissioner. He was already DIG. And then Egbe took his service career. I think he has 1 year before he retires now. He was born in 1964, so next year he'll be 60. And the civil service rules for police is that once you're 60 or 35 years in service, and that comes first. And then, more importantly, I think he's acting. So
what happens? He retires when he's 60.
So I probably let him be acting, and then by next year September next year when he turns 60 and has to leave, a substantive IG might come in. We'll see how it pans out with that one. Even if they confirm him, it's still 1 year given his age range. So interesting appointments. Interesting one. It's an appointment that will engender a lot of discussions and analysis. When you begin to profile who the officers are one after the other. But more importantly, for the army, what these appointments, the appointment of CG Musa and 𝐒𝐿 is that it takes away a large core of officers who are seniors to 𝐒𝐿, because if you check the service record, 𝐒𝐿 is course 39. I hope you understand that course I was telling you earlier. In the military, especially those are from the NDA stock, course by course, they still have course 38 and course 37 in service. So every officer in course 37 and course 32 are mostly major generals now will all have to retire this morning.
Wow.
In fact, the last night they will have typed their letter. So this morning.
This kind of job sometimes is not.
That's it. That's the truth.
Overnight.
Let's talk about federal.
So CG Musara because he was senior army officer followed by Lagbaja.
Talking about federal character, we've seen some people come out to say these appointments, they're not fair. We don't have. If we're talking about ethnic balancing, what do you think?
So the statement that the federal government released yesterday, President Bola Tinubu made all kinds of military appointments that usually are not announced. They don't announce them. He changed the commander of Brigade of Guards in Abuja, the 2 Brigade of Guard units, that's Guard Brigade inside the villa, and the Brigade of Guards in Abuja there. He changed the commander of the Brigade of Guards in 𝐭𝐸𝐻, National State. He changed the commander of the Brigade of Guards in Suleja. The Brigade of Guards is the army elite force around the federal capital. Suleja, Nasarawa, inside Abuja, and inside the villa. 4 Brigade of Guards units. All the commanders went. And all 4 new commanders appeared like they come, from the southwest. People are looking at that, but it's a military appointment. It's an appointment of who is there. He's not going to go and kill somebody or go to his village and go and bring somebody and say it's because of who is there. So I think people are judging on that. But the most important appointments are the service chiefs, the NSA, and the IG, which makes it 6 positions.
Yeah.
And that has national spread. Because the NSA from the north, the chief of the air staff from the north, the IG of police from the southwest, like the army chief, the chief of navy from the east, yes, from Enugu State, it goes in not local government, that's 𝐒𝐭𝐴, and then the chief of air staff, the air staff from the north, navy is from the east, chief of army, So the spread was maybe the north and the southwest has 2.
Yes.
The southeast has 1, and then the south has 1. I think the south has the director of defense intelligence, the DDI, another core member of the national security team. Yes, I think so. Major General 𝐒𝐿 and the is Ubudu from Cross River State. So that was the spread that we saw yesterday. So in terms of national spread for the core appointment, the 7 appointments, in the national security team, I think that one has a spread. It touched every part of the country. But the other appointment, where people are talking about, because yesterday on the list were over 22 appointments, people are looking at appointments like the president approved an appointment of Adeniyi Ladewale as the acting controller general of customs. So the customs now has a new customs man as customs boss. So people were talking about that, and then the Brigade of Guard commanders. I think that one, the president even named, an armament officer for 𝐼𝐍𝐻𝐈. This one even, in terms of army hierarchy, it's not a very big rank. The State House Military Intelligence, Major T.S. Adeola, and then the commanding officer, State House Armaments, is even a Lieutenant A. Aminu. And that's a major, and then his second in command is a lieutenant. Usually these appointments they are military appointments within the Brigade of Guards, within the presidential personal security. You don't list them and announce them in a statement. He did. Maybe he's trying to make a point, make it clear, to observers and non-observers that a new sheriff is in town, and this is the core of my team. If you are looking for trouble, you know where to handle all of this. And the president travels out of the country today. So making this clear appointment and letting people know who is in charge, I think was important for something the president's team is trying to achieve. Usually, all of these appointments, commander of guards brigade, commander of the 𝐼𝐍𝐻𝐈 Intelligence Department, the chief armaments officer in the villa, nobody knows them. They work behind the scenes, But in this statement by the office of the Secretary to the government, they were all named and released, and their ranks and service numbers are put there, probably to make a statement. In the entire structure, Zainab, only 2 appointments survived in the entire security structure. What forms the national security team of the president, only the DG DSS. Nobody have talked about that. Sure. What is survived? DGSS, Yusuf Bichi wasn't touched. And then the DG NIA, National Intelligence Agency. Those 2, that's Ambassador Rufai. Those 2 were not affected. And I thought that maybe they should have been affected. But the DG DSS survives another one. This one is there. Interesting one, Zainab. I'm taking all the time.
I think we should talk about this and then we'll go over to the papers. Tinubu dissolves boards of MDAs. You get this story on page 33 of Daily Trust.
Yeah, Kafi, that was the second big one last night. You know, as far as bureaucracy goes, this is a bombshell. Like, because we are talking about probably over 2,000 appointments, more than 2,000. When you talk about the boards, that's composition of the boards of government ministries, department agencies, and government-owned companies. You know, the end with those MDAs.
Yes.
They also went further to say government-owned companies.
Yes.
So he's talking about companies where people don't know that government owns them, like 𝐻𝐭𝐻𝐶 Steel, for instance. All of those, everybody on the board goes, including their CEOs. So the permanent secretary ministries or the senior officer next takes over. We're talking about over 2,000 appointments, 2,000 people, you know, in one first swoop last night. We needed clarity on, you know, because the statement also said, except those in the third schedule of the Constitution.
Yes.
That we're talking about government departments like the Code of Conduct Bureau, the National, you know, Council of State. Those are ones that are protected in the Constitution Schedule 3.
Yeah.
You know, the Federal Character Commission, the Federal Judicial Service Commission, 𝐈𝐍𝐻, the National Defense Council, the National Economic Council, the National Judicial Council, you know, the NPC, that's the National Population Commission, then the National, the Police Service Commission, and the Revenue Mobilization, Education and Fiscal. Those ones are protected by third schedule of the Constitution. So those ones remain intact. 𝐈𝐍𝐻 chairman has not been sacked. You know, but I was kept asking the question about NNPC. You know, because if the president has said that dissolve the boards of government ministries, department agencies, and government-owned companies, which is, of course, the NNPC is government-owned, even though this is a private concern, then the board of the NNPC today should have been dissolved, including the CEO, 𝐻𝐨𝐻𝐿 𝐾𝐜. But there's no clarity yet. I think today will provide us further opportunity to try to know the affected departments, agencies, and government-owned companies. But that was another one last night, and that one is quite all-encompassing because it will touch almost every level of government bureaucracy, and the entire boards have to go. That means the chairman of the board, and you know, like the NDDC, you know, the chairman and everybody in the NDDC
also go.
One first. Appointments go there. You know, the firework. It's time to go to Abuja. Carry your seat in your hands.
Did you enjoy this video? Hit the subscribe button for more. Leave a comment and like. Thank you.